Welcome to my channel Adhyan with Flow, guys. Let's start with our next gland, adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal gland, one at the anterior part of each kidney. These are our kidney, and this is the adrenal gland. Top part is, we call it as a anterior part, and bottom part we call it as a posterior. This is the ventral and this is the dorsal view. This is the dorsal view, this is the ventral view. This is the anterior view, this is the posterior view. The gland is composed of two types of tissue. First, adrenal medulla, and second is adrenal cortex. Outer region we call it as a adrenal cortex, and inside region is we call it as a adrenal medulla. Look at here, this is the adrenal medulla, and surrounding we call it as a cortex region. Clear, guys? Very clear. Now, under production of hormone by the adrenal cortex alter carbohydrate metabolism, causing acute weakness, first fatigue, leading to a disease called Addison disease. This is the important word, important disease, which caused by, if adrenal cortex secrete less hormone, then that kind of person suffer from Addison disease. He suffer from weakness, fatigue, and less carbohydrate metabolism. Clear, guys? This is the outer region of adrenal gland. We call it as the adrenal cortex. This is the middle part of adrenal gland. We call it as a adrenal medulla. Adrenal cortex secretes some special hormone. If their secretion less in number, under production, then that kind of person suffer from Addison's disease, and their symptom is weakness, fatigue, and carbohydrate less metabolism. This is important. Next, this part also secretes some hormone. The name of the hormone is adrenaline. First, adrenaline, and second is epinephrine. I'm writing here. The first is adrenaline, and second is epinephrine. Their nickname is also here, also called noradrenaline. Means adrenaline, and in starting we add on noradrenaline, and this is norepinephrine. Norepinephrine, we call it as a catecholamines because these hormones contain amino group. We call it as a catecholamines. This hormone, adrenaline and non-adrenaline hormone, rapidly secreted in the response of stress. First, in stress. Second, in emergency condition. Third, hormone of fight or flight. What they do? They increase alertness. They increase pupil dilation. They increase raising of hairs, goosebumps, sweating. Both hormone increase heart rate, heart contraction, and respiration rate. These hormones increase everything. Increase alertness, increase sweating, increase goosebumps, increasing heartbeat, increasing heart contraction, increasing rate of respiration. Clear, guys? Very clear. Next, catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen. What do you understand by breakdown of glycogen? Here is our blood vessels. Here is our blood vessels. These hormones secreted into our blood vessels. Our blood vessels contain glycogen, and these hormones come and break down into glucose. So indirectly, glucose level high in blood. Clear, guys? And not reach at cell. This is the function of catecholamines. I'm writing here, this hormone is catecholamines. Means adrenaline and epinephrine. Another name is noradrenaline and norepinephrine. Catecholamine is the group of adrenaline and epinephrine hormone. Next, They also stimulate the breakdown of lipid and protein. Here is lipid and protein. Catecholamine come and break down lipid and also break down protein into their simplest form. This form is complex and they break down with simple form. Lipid break down into their fatty acid and glycerol, and protein break down into their simplest form, amino acids. Adrenal cortex can be divided into 3 layers. Means he want to say that this is the cortex region of adrenal gland. They made up of 3 layers. The inner layer, we can call it as a zona reticularis. This is the inner layer. First, the second layer is zona fasciculata. This is the middle layer, and outer layer is zona glomerulosa. Clear, guys? This is the cortex region. This is the adrenal cortex region, and divided into 3 layers: zona reticulata, zona fasciculata, and zona glomerulosa. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as corticoids. This portion secretes many hormones like corticoids. This hormone, corticoid, make another hormone, glucocorticoid, and this glucocorticoid responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. Is it clear, guys? This is the line. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Example of cortisol is glucocorticoid. Corticoids which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes in body are called mineralocorticoid. Those corticoid which are responsible for carbohydrate metabolism, we call it as a glucocorticoid. If someone regulate water and electrolytes in our body, we call it as a mineralocorticoid. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid in our body. It means, look at here, glucocorticoid have one type, we call it as a cortisol, and mineralocorticoid have another type, we call it as a aldosterone. They reabsorb water from nephron with nephron. Clear, guys? Where they both are present, glucocorticoid and mineralocorticoid, they all are present in adrenal cortex. Let's start. Next, glucocorticoid. Here glucocorticoid stimulate gluconeogenesis, means formation, and lipolysis and proteolysis, and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acid. What they want, what glucocorticoid want, he wants that he prevents, glucocorticoid prevents uptake of amino acids in cell. They increase the amino acid level in blood. They prevent, this is the inhibition sign, they prevent uptake of amino acid in cell. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as kidney function. Exactly what they perform, actually they perform, this is the arrow sign and this is the inhibition sign. This is regulate cardiovascular activity related with our heart and some kidneys function like reabsorption of water. Okay, glucocorticoid, particularly cortisol, glucocorticoid is exactly particularly cortisol, produce anti-inflammatory reaction and suppress the immune response. When inflammatory reaction attack our body, they suppress our immune system for unnecessary production of antibody. This whole paragraph is important. One single word also important. Cortisol stimulate the RBC production, another important part, very important. Now let's start with aldosterone. It acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulate the reabsorption of sodium and water and excretion of K plus and phosphate ion. aldosterone, they make sure reabsorption of what? First water, sodium, water, and make sure the excretion of reabsorption of sodium and water and excretion of potassium ion and phosphate ion. What aldosterone will do? They absorb sodium and water in renal tube. In this tube, they absorb what? Water and sodium ions and excrete potassium. Excrete means remove potassium and phosphate ions. Aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolyte. Obviously, they regulate how much iron present in the tubes or not. Body volume, osmotic pressure and blood pressure important. The function of aldosterone is important. Next, small amount of androgenic steroid are also secreted by adrenal cortex, which play a role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, facial hair during puberty. This is the extra point that cortex region of adrenal gland secretes some, look at here, adrenal cortex secretes some androgenic hormone, androgenic steroid hormone. What they do? They grow hairs all over the body in puberty. Clear, guys? Very clear. This is an extra important point. So this is the overall function of our adrenal gland. This is most important. One single word, most important. This is very important from exam point of view. So this is our adrenal gland. So thank you for listening me, guys. Thank you so much. If you like my lecture, please subscribe and share. Thank you. Thank you for listening me. Keep smiling.